Do you have like grape nuts? What's Saturday morning look like for you?
Cheerios and listen to Justin Chamness.
Cheerios. You still can't beat the Cheerios. Yep, Cheerios. I gotta have them frosted though, because then the ones that are just plain, yeah, kind of boring. Kind of boring. We've got a good group coming in here. Looks like a lot of great people coming in. This is the Saturday Shut Up Money Show. That's right. So we're glad that everybody's piling in here on the Zoom room. If you want to be in the Zoom room, you're out there watching this. We're all about real estate wholesaling here. We're all about helping you get to that first deal paycheck. That's the hashtag Shut Up Money that we're always talking about. And if you want to join us right here for this public Q&A, you can certainly. You just have to visit zoomjustin.com, and the password is money. Money. That's right. Public Q&A. So bring your questions, bring your deals, bring your problems, bring your role plays. When I say role play, what do I mean? I'm wearing a green t-shirt. Look at that. I'm disappearing. Bring your role plays. What do I mean by that? Live action role play. We're going to get our swords out and we're going to joust each other. No, that's not what I mean. I mean, if you've got a seller call that you had or that you're going to make and you want to practice that, that's what we do here. We like to help folks up their game a little bit on a Saturday morning. Saturday's a great day for follow-up, by the way. So if you want to be a part of it, just jump right in here in the Zoom room. We do have some special things planned here today. I'm looking in the Zoom room here, and we've got a special guest here, Mr. Michael Batista. Everybody knows Michael Batista, the automatedrei.com. He's the owner, the creator, the inventor. I like to think about Michael as my inventor friend.
I don't know if I can take that claim, but appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Well, dude, nobody else reaches out to me on the regular like you with new inventions.
I guess so. I guess that's right, man. You got something cooking.
This is the damn Henry Ford of real estate, guys. He's building an assembly line, pop, 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 Model T.
Right.
Except
gonna make that thing Ferrari.
Except it's hashtag free houses instead of hashtag Model T.
Yeah.
Very grateful for Michael Batista and everything he's contributed to the club here. Him and his team. He has a whole team of people. And if you don't know what the automated REI is out there, guys, it is the most inexpensive platform. How about this? You can get in it for free. You can't beat that. You can't beat that. And it's not like free for a 7-day trial. Okay. And you can get leads. How important are leads? How many leads should you be getting in a week if you want to do 1 to 2 deals? Why don't you tell us, Michael, how many deals, 1 or 2 deals, how many leads should I get on automated REI, which is a scraper, right? Scrapes Zillow, scrapes Craigslist. It does a number of other things too. Yeah. But if I'm using the scraper, what kind of target numbers am I looking for in order to be able to get a deal or 2 every month?
Yeah, it's a great question. In particular, if it just depends on what kind of deal type that you are looking for. If you're a beginner, just getting started in this business, I recommend what Justin recommends. Co-wholesale to start, and lease options as kind of as a side game there too. You can kind of hit them 1 and 2. And for lease options, in particular, what I do is I'll scrape Craigslist. I like Craigslist more than I like Zillow. That's just a personal preference.
For co-wholesaling?
No, for lease options. For lease
For lease
options.
options. The for
Yeah.
rents or the for sale by owners?
Particular for sale by owners, I go after first. I've always had good luck with that. I know a lot of people do go after the for rents as well, and those can convert, maybe even better. I've never necessarily had to target that as a backup. I've always just gone after FSBOs and had great luck with it. But what I do is I like to target at least 500. I go for at least 500, ideally 1,000, ideally 1,000. And out of 1,000 scrapes, I'll send. Now that's not necessarily 1,000 phone numbers on Craigslist. There's some of those listings don't have phone numbers, but generally if I target 1,000, let's just use that as a round number, right? I'll send out 1,000 text messages, and that text message will sound something like, "Hey, would you consider doing a rent to own? I'm very interested in your property. Saw it on Craigslist. Please let me know. Thank you." I can rewrite that same text message 100 different ways, really. But as long as it sounds like that, I generally get a 30% response rate on the low end, sometimes as high as 50, 60%. Just depends. So it's a very, very good response rate in terms of marketing if you compare it to anything else. And I'll get usually 10 to 20% will be positive on the text message that I send. So like if I send 1,000 texts, I'm going to get 300 responses, usually a 30% response rate. So 300 responses on the low, and then 10 to 20% of those 300 generally are positive. Like, "Hey, what's rent to own? I'm interested. Yes, a maybe." As long as it's not a no, I consider that a lead. And either you would want to call that or have, a virtual assistant pre-screen that lead for you. If you're at that stage, you can afford a VA. You can add that extra marketing budget into your daily life and your business. I highly recommend it. If you're not there, that's fine too. The text message definitely will save you from having a cold call, so that's a big saver anyway. But you're going to call them and just ask them if they would consider doing a rent to own. They're going to ask you some questions. What does that mean exactly? And Justin has all of the training and everything like that available to learn how to go through that conversation. I think all of it's free. On Justin's site, and we've partnered up with Justin, so it's all the training is free on my site. And so you can get phone mastery training and all of that. But you'll learn how to get on the phones with these people, talk to them, see if it's going to be a fit, right? And once you've had that conversation, you should know pretty quickly. What do you say? 3 minutes, 2-minute timer?
Yeah, 3 minutes. In fact, we got a new club 3-minute timer. This is for Real Estate Wholesalers Club. See how it says "Shut Up Money" on it there.
Nice.
Yeah. it's metal. It's heavy duty, so I can bang it around and
keep that thing for a long
3
time.
minutes. Like if
Awesome.
the sand runs out and the seller is still doing this, okay, that means do something, say something, take control again.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're definitely gonna go through that process, and especially if you've not done a deal yet, or if you're just getting started. There's a little bit of a learning curve, but Justin has put together, one of the best, if not the best, training opportunity, for anyone to learn.
You're such a sweetheart.
Man,
you're looking good, dude. You're losing weight. I mean, you're looking good, man. This is like It's like
Appreciate
you're yeah, you're starting to make me feel bad, man.
Well, Saturday is an exception, but we try to get up at 5:30, 6. We go for a walk, about an hour walk every morning. So we're
Wow.
trying to get a little bit of exercise in and
Yeah.
start the day, the right way. But
Yeah.
appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
dude. Yeah.
Trying to,
You're in Peru today still?
yeah, we're still in Peru,
Yeah.
but
When,
I just my girlfriend sent me over a message. I think October 1st, it looks like we're going to be able to do something,
really?
travel. Yeah. So
Nice.
that article apparently just got published yesterday. And so we'll see about making some moves. I don't know what's going to happen, but
Yeah.
we'll see. Flights might be way too expensive. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to say.
Um,
Or they might be really inexpensive.
maybe. Yeah, I don't know, man. But yeah, I
Crazy.
mean that's kind of it all comes down to it's made me hunker down and focus on this business, a lot
Yeah.
more, and try and figure out what are the best ways to convert, and that's all. It's what it's all about. Any business you're in, guys, is lead generation, 100%. You don't have leads, you don't have opportunities, you don't have sales. So
Yeah, exactly.
um, so we've at the automated REI. I mean, I've tried to put together, really the most affordable option out there.
Yeah,
Doesn't
it
mean
is.
that doesn't mean that there aren't other great services out there, and maybe some more done for you services, things of that nature if you're at that level. But we try to make it very accessible for someone that maybe only has $100 a month,
Yeah.
150, 200 ideal, but you can really do this business for about $100 a month.
Yeah.
Based on
Absolutely.
2,000, 3,000 text messages a month and get on the phone.
Yeah.
I mean, you really can do that. And to get back to your question here, I like to have 1,000 text message threshold. Even if you aren't a great closer, that's a good starting point, and that's going to get you generally 30 leads, maybe 50 leads. In some cases, I've gotten as many as 100 leads off of 1,000 texts. It just
Sure.
some days it's great. You
Yeah.
never know what's going to happen,
Yeah.
and it's just like anything. You can throw up an ad, you could send out a marketing campaign one time, and you're going to get something to stick. But the more that you hit that list and the more you go through it, more of them are going to convert. That's just the way sales, genuinely is. And
Yes.
doesn't matter if I'm selling cars, I'm selling cell phones, I'm
Right.
selling, bicycles, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I got to follow up with these owners. They got a problem, maybe not today. You might speak with Mr. Seller today, and it's September the 5th, and 2 weeks from now, all of a sudden he gets, let's say he gets some bad news. He's got to get surgery, and he's got to, come up with a $25,000 deductible. Who knows? We don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's got to do something within 30 days. Shit happens.
Yeah.
It's all about timing.
Yeah.
It's all timing.
Yeah.
So
You have no idea what's going on in the life of that seller. That's
right.
so true. I can tell you twice in my career so far, I've contacted homeowners who if you use the gut system that Claude Diamond invented that we teach here, it's about empathy. It's about trust. It's about likability. It's about respect. It's about being business oriented rather than, hey, I'm a chummy buddy. And then that's not the right kind of rapport, the chummy buddy rapport. Um, but nevertheless, the gut system that we teach here will help you build rapport, the right kind of rapport with the seller, and get them to open up to you about their situation. Okay. Now, it doesn't work every time, of course. Nothing works on everyone. Some people are not closable. That's just life. So, when you do get that person, Alex was asking 1,000 texts a day or a week, by the way.
So I generally set it up as sessions, right? And what I mean by that is if I'm going to scrape data and let's say I do 5 or 6 or 10 scrapes, and I collect 1,000 data combined, right? Roughly. I try to send, 100, 200 out maybe a day. So you can do that over a week. You can do that. Hell, if you have a team and you have, a system in place to handle more lead flow, or you are just more available, right? You could do 1,000 a day. It's just I've seen so many different ways that people have set up this business.
I encourage people to, when they get started, I tell my students to set a minimum of 500 a week. Now, that's a minimum. If you've got a job, if you've got something cooking in your life besides this, that's an hour or two a day for you probably. But not just in lead gen. I mean the whole thing. Work an hour or two a day in your business. That's about 500 texts a week. That's enough to get you to a deal this month. If you're consistent, if you give good phone, with a little bit of luck, maybe, not much. So 1,000 a day, you'd be a busy boy, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I mean, easily.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're sending out 1,000 text messages a day, you would have to have, gosh, it takes about 2 to 3 hours generally to actually go through those text messages. If you're, sending them yourself. Well, 1 second. All right. Yeah, it takes about 2 to 3 hours to go through those.
Yeah.
If you're handling all that yourself. So, I mean, just plan on that. Or if you're budgeting maybe a part-time VA,
Sure.
they don't even need to be full-time. That's a nice thing.
Yeah.
But just depends on where you are at, in your business. A lot of folks, I recommend at least going through the motions. Try to get through a deal or two before you get, a VA. But some people want to just hit the ground running. I understand that. I would still at least try to go through the motions and understand that business right alongside your VA. You know what I mean? So that way you can bounce ideas back and forth. But
absolutely,
it just depends on everyone's comfort level. Everyone's going to be different. Everyone's going to have a different budget.
A VA has the ability to bring some accountability into your business too. I was just visiting with someone about this, and it's so true. I have a team that does things for me. They'll do some scraping on Sundays. They'll set up a text blast on Mondays. And I know that on Thursday at 3:00, text messages are going out, whether I'm ready or not. Okay. That helps me get my shit together on Thursday. You know what I mean? To get ready to go and do this business. I'm human. I suffer with the same things that everyone here does. I'm a sentient being, I know what it's like to wake up in the morning and my body doesn't want to get out of bed yet. I know what it's like when I walk over to the desk and I go to pick up the phone and I can't seem to pick it up today because it weighs 10,000 pounds. I get it. But having a virtual assistant or a team can kind of help, bring you back to the business, if that makes any sense, if you're kind of distracted, because I know if I'm driving down the road at 3:00 on a Thursday, or if I'm sitting in front of the TV at 3:00 on a Thursday watching Ricky Lake reruns. Come on, guys, that was pretty funny. Ricky Lake reruns. You got anybody ever watch Ricky Lake?
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Crazy.
You always know it. You always know a salesman is he's in a slump when he's at home at 3 o'clock watching Ricky Lake.
Yeah,
So,
100%.
but at 3 o'clock, those text messages go out, whether I'm watching Ricky Lake or not. And I got to get back to the business. And that's very helpful for me, helpful. And being a part of the VIP club's been helpful. You're kind of a virtual assistant master, Michael. And I do want to give some honor to another dignitary here in the room. We have Kenny Wright. He's from the great state of Texas. Texas just keeps coming up. We had a session yesterday from a Texas guy. Phenomenal session. Lots of great success stories coming out of Ace, Arturo. If you guys aren't in the VIP, you missed it probably. And shame on you. You should be in the VIP club. But a lot of Texas keeps popping up. Here we got Kenny Wright in the room from Texas, the great state of Texas. He's a creative real estate guy too. So I want to give some honor to him. I want you to visit with us here, if you can, Kenny. If you can stick around for a few minutes, visit with us. But I wanted to ask a question real quickly with Michael Batista here about virtual assistants. I get questions all the time. People are asking me, how do I get a virtual assistant? What's the best way to not get scammed, conned, set up, where I don't get the work, but I get to pay the money? That's what I'm not wanting to do. So how do I go about getting a virtual assistant that I can work with, that is intelligent, skillful, faithful, loyal, punctual? And I know Automated REI and you have kind of trailblazed a little bit in this arena. And is there something that you can offer us, if not anything else but advice? We would be so grateful. Where can we go to get one without going to Upwork? Okay, this is what I'm trying to avoid. I'm trying to avoid going to Upwork again, putting an ad up there, getting 20 people hit me up, and I have to go through and interview 20 people and figure out which one's going to be the best and hope I make the right decision. Does that make sense where I'm coming from?
Yeah. Yeah. And actually it's interesting you mentioned that. I was watching a video yesterday, I caught maybe 5 minutes, 5 or 10 minute segment, over on Pace Morby's channel. And
great guy, by the way. Anybody out there looking into Pace Morby, I can tell you, I've only heard good things, man. Only good things.
Yeah. And he actually had a company on there called VAHub.com. And, at the end of the day, what they were saying, and thankfully I caught this particular segment, because in this business, as entrepreneurs, we're going to fail. But that's just part of it. We have to be able to take those hits, fall down, and get back up.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And getting a VA is very much part of that. And sometimes, I don't know how else to say it, sometimes it's a luck of the draw. Right.
Yeah.
And
sometimes you have to kiss a few frogs before you get to kiss a prince. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah. It's like dating. It really can be. Some people are going to be more outgoing and more ambitious than others. Some of them lose motivation when they get their job. Is it's just part of it. You might have to go through a few. Sometimes these people even offer like a week trial. You know what I mean? Or a 2-week trial.
I totally like a probation period. Yeah. Like I'm putting you on probation the first 30 days, the first 2 weeks. I like to do the first week, like you were suggesting. And if you're successful, efficient, hardworking, faithful, you please me to my expectations on this task or group of tasks, then next week I'll give you a 50-cent raise. Okay. 50 cents.
Right. Right. You know, and that's part of it. Sometimes you gotta elevate them, you know, or do I call it a stair step offer.
Sure.
Based on where you want to start them at. What I have found in particular, I know you mentioned Upwork. I do like to use Upwork, but I actually go on Upwork and I filter the candidates to Jamaica, right?
Jamaica. Irie, man. I like it, the rum. Why Jamaica?
I mean,
That's just we always hear Philippines. Now you're saying Jamaica.
Yeah.
Tell us about Jamaica.
Yeah. So just to give a little bit of information on the Philippines, you know, sometimes that, you know, they can be great workers, you know, and at a very affordable rate. But the reality is when you get a Philippine cold caller, the vast majority, now there is, with anything, there's the top 1%, right? I'm not talking about those people, you know, the top 1%, those are the more difficult ones to find. And that's just part of the, you know, part of the business. When you go through
Sure.
your interviews and you got to find that top 1%, do you have time? Yes, maybe not, you know, who knows? But that's something you have to decide for yourself. But the Jamaican VAs, what I've found is their English is just about as good as Justin or Justin,
Yeah.
Justin or mine or
Yeah.
anything. They sound very similar to a native English speaker.
And
Now
they understand Americans too a little bit,
yeah,
right? I'm guessing.
they understand sarcasm.
Yeah.
You know, they understand
Yeah.
some American culture. You know, that's part of it.
If I said it's raining cats and dogs today, and by the way, here it is raining cats and dogs. Filipino,
They would.
they might be like, it's raining cats and dogs.
Yeah, yeah, they don't know what that means, right? They don't understand that. But yeah, Jamaicans, you know, you can get their services for generally $4 an hour, $5 an hour, $6. Filipinos, you know, you could get probably closer to $3 an hour, sometimes maybe even less. But if you really think about it, let's say you have 100 leads, right? If you lose even 5% of those phone calls, 5% of those leads, just because people think it's a scam with the VA on there, being a Filipino VA,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they don't sound like me is what the person on the
Mm-hmm.
phone was thinking. You know, this is a scam. It's whatever it is. You automatically overcome that by hiring a Jamaican VA, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is it worth the extra $1 an hour? Is it worth the extra $2 an hour? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe not to start, but when conversion, you know, starts to really get into part of what you're doing, then yes, I would absolutely recommend that. Now, I would say the majority of the VAs that I've come across, they don't necessarily have real estate experience, you know, on Upwork, but you know, it all comes down to, you know, would I rather find someone that has a bunch of experience, or would I rather mold them, you know?
Yeah.
And as long as my training program is very good, I can make them, I could basically train them up to duplicate myself.
Yeah.
Right? Get the
Exactly.
VA, put them through Justin's, you know, phone mastery course, you know, have them watch videos, have them, you know, take that and really run with it.
Yeah.
Then, hey, you know, the sky's the limit. You know, this person could become, I call these people full-fledged operation managers, right?
Sure.
Now, those operation managers are literally top to bottom. They know how to scrape leads, pre-screen leads, close leads, sell deals.
Yeah.
You know, top to bottom,
Yeah.
right? That's where you eventually want to be.
I have a student. Well, he's graduated now. He's not really a student anymore. But his name is Angelo. And if you're listening out there by some chance, Angelo, I'm talking about you. I appreciate you, dude. Angelo's a good example of this. He's got a virtual assistant from the Philippines, though, in this particular case. But this particular gal speaks really good English. She does the lead generation. She does the pre-qualification call. She now does the closing call. She sends the documents. She gets the signatures. And then she is learning now how to advertise the property deals once they've been signed, and how to pre-qualify buyers, cash buyers, both cash buyers and tenant buyers. Wow. $5 an hour.
There you go.
With a $500 bonus per deal, per successful deal.
There you go.
And you know what? She's getting bonus money. They're doing deals. Okay. So that's just an example of how you can this. Now I feel like Angelo got lucky. He got lucky a little bit, because usually you don't go the full distance with one, you know.
Yeah.
But he did good. So
Oh yeah.
it's kind of like, what do you want to do out there, right? And how can you use these virtual assistants to propel your business forward and remove the parts of it from you that you don't like or that you don't have time for anymore? And you're not going to find one that's plug and play. You're going to have to do what Michael was talking about there and train them up. Yeah. Teach them to do A, then B, then C, then D, right? Not A, then D, then B, then C. Okay. You have to, if you teach them that way, if they have the raw materials, they're faithful. They are punctual. They show up on time. I mean, every time. They work the same time every day. Okay. They report to you properly with their activities. If they have the raw materials and they can learn, you can teach them how to do any of this. Yep. Am I right?
Oh yeah. Very, very much so. And you said that that VA is from, where are they from? The Philippines?
Yeah, that particular VA is from the Philippines, a female from the Philippines. Yeah. But I have had a virtual assistant from Jamaica myself once. Very good English talker too. Very good English talker.
Absolutely. And like I said, you can definitely get folks from the Philippines as well. Like I mentioned before, that's a top 1% type person.
Oh yeah.
In that particular space, those take some time to groom and go through that process. It really does. They're not going to come out of the box and start swinging like that.
He's been working with her for about a year, maybe a year and a half, I think. I've been working with some of mine for over almost 2, maybe going on 3 years now. And I've developed some of mine into operations managers and dispositions management. And, it doesn't happen. It's not like a business in a box. Like, hey, I hired this person and they're just, you this is your business. You have to build it. Right. That's great. Absolutely. Great talks, man. Kenny Wright, Texas. What's going on down there? How you doing?
Just, I And thank y'all for sending some of the cold weather. We're going to get it in a couple days. So
Yeah.
it's been merciful here. But to compliment, I'm in a phase right now. It's been a long dating process. A lot of dates that you wish never happened as far as putting that together. But I'm at the point now, I'm trying to see which one of them.
You've kissed a few frogs, you're saying.
Yeah, and they were not
Okay.
prince or princesses. But I've got a couple, and I'm hoping that one, and you got to give this time, guys. Do not think this is the one after a week or a month. I mean, it takes time because they need to speak your language and they need to do fluidly your processes, and you need to know that it's a reflex for them and equally just important. But if I can get the right one, then that one can eventually become the interviewer, the this, and they will lead your team. And you want to talk about that's going to get so many monkeys off my back. But that's where I'm at, behind, and you guys apparently have some better success rate on it. But if you can get that one, then you can take certain things off their back by getting them in it. It's all going to be worth it. And you just one deal more than pays funnels that whole thing.
Oh yeah.
One deal more than pays for these people. One thing I made a mistake on that y'all didn't touch on, and I did this early on because we talk about relative. From my business and previous life, when you would spiff salesmen for things and you have to do a certain amount, when they make a certain amount of money, you have to actually spiff a certain amount or they won't cross the street and get excited, which is ridiculous to think that they wouldn't. But that goes relative to here. When I got pumped up and excited and they helped me close a deal, they didn't actually turnkey do the docs and everything. I was actually turned out with somebody else that said, hey, you're probably paying them too much. And
What were you paying them?
Why would they? That's fine. It's relative to me and it's fine. It was so dramatically different, the bonus that I paid them, that I didn't realize what the difference that was in their world. And they actually got big shot do-got on me and thought they had it made. Now, it wasn't long before they were begging and kicking and screaming to come back. But like a contractor that goes dark on me, I don't do the second chance thing because I've done that before and that bit me. And no matter how much no good deed goes unpunished, but it does. And, so I don't retread. And that's one thing I learned early on. It's just not just in this business, but in anything. It's when there's a party, it's really good not to retread unless they were going on to bigger and better things and they left you properly. It was all good and and everything's fine. But other than that, if you left on not good terms, but they realized the error of their ways, no, don't. I'm just telling you advice. Don't retread. It's not worth it. But also don't overpay.
Right.
What a big bonus is there, that's a huge bonus, $500. Well, I paid $1,000, but I didn't care because we made 23 grand on the deal, and I thought, man, this is awesome. I want to be a part of it. I want to share. I want to give. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, that's right. That's great advice. You got to remember the carrot and the stick, right? Not the carrot on the end of the stick, the carrot and the stick. So the carrot, that's what we want, and we chase after it because it's tasty. Well, give me some of that. And the stick is what I whip you with if you don't listen to me. Okay. Bad metaphor. Sorry. Bad metaphor. But sometimes you have to spank your virtual assistant. Has anybody in here ever had to spank their virtual assistant?
Yeah. I probably should, but I don't. I just,
I have had to spank a virtual assistant or two, and it's just it's like it's an uncomfortable necessity in the business world that you have to tell your employees when they do not meet your expectations, and you have to draw the line in the sand, so to speak. That line in the sand, and then if they cross that, you got to be willing to come. It's like being a parent. Nobody wants to discipline their kid. Nobody really wants to. But but you have to, you have to, because that's what they need and that's what you need, So virtual assistants are kind of like that. In my opinion, is somebody tell me I'm wrong. I'm okay with that.
I mean, employees are kind of an extension of family,
Yeah.
Yeah,
They-
you
they-
want to set
they-
expectations. I now have I had, I guess a polite way to say it is a serious come to Kenny meeting, a prayer meeting with a contractor. Yeah, I've had to do that, and I think we all have. Even a realtor I was working with that I was actually doing them a favor by letting them involved in the
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
Here's education class.
Yeah.
I guess I haven't taken the upper hand with some of the VAs, but generally, I find that it's a self-filtering system too. We tend to part company if we have bad understanding.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Justin, I've interviewed a couple of VAs that have, on the interview, I can hear chickens in the background.
I told you, man. They're sitting in a shack. They've got
Every
village.
time, man. Every time.
It's not like they
There's always chickens.
it's not like they have a router sitting in their living room like you do, a modem and router. They've got a village internet, okay? And they live in the village.
Yeah, they got a village hotspot.
Yeah. And so this is their time to be on the internet in the village, and it happens to be up and running today. And they just got done feeding the chickens, slopping the hogs.
You bring up a good point. I had one time, bless her heart. I mean, I knew the situation. It was really good people, and they did good work. But we don't realize how good we have it. They go through power outages. I mean, it's an afterthought, and
it's horrible. Absolutely.
Night, they're doing their work calling over here, and they've got no power.
Yeah, I've had virtual assistants hit me up and say, "Hey, I'm so sorry I haven't been in contact with you in the last 4 days. Internet in village has been down," and I'm like, "Okay, well, what can we do to fix this problem? Because I can't wait between, now and 4 days from now to get a message back from you, especially when business is kicking. You'll find that more, not to, at least my experience has not been that way in the Philippines as much as in Bangladeshi or some of these other countries that virtual assistants are pretty popular from. But even in the Philippines, I've experienced this a little, but not quite as bad as, let's say, Bangladesh or some of the other countries over there. Is anybody? I know Rick works with a lot of virtual assistants in the Philippines. Are you experiencing with those virtuals? If you can respond, Rick, it'd be great. Are you experiencing any power outages and delays in their ability to communicate because the internet's down, or any of that much with the Philippines? And I'm not talking about those from Davos. I'm talking about those from the rural Philippines.
Yeah, I have a couple that's in Tagum City, and they experience it daily actually. And
Really?
I've even installed internet because one of them, well, actually two of them lived kind of like farther away from town. So it was like 6,000 pesos to actually have it installed, so they could have it. And
so it was like $2.37. I'm just kidding. I'm teasing.
Well, yeah, 1,000 peso is $20. So, and the internet runs over there right around $12.99, $1,299 monthly for that service. But yeah, they experience it daily, man.
So like $25 a month for internet.
Pretty much, yeah.
Somebody needs to tell these people here to get a clue, because I'm paying like 10 times that amount for my internet. What's
So
the
Justin, I have a question. Would you, getting back to hearing the chickens in the background, have you
Yeah.
worked with VAs like that, or would you pass on a VA like that?
what do you want them to do for you? That's the question. If you
Okay.
want them to make phone calls for you, then if you heard chickens in the background, then your homeowner leads are also going to hear chickens in the background. Okay.
Okay.
Probably some other things, some choice farm animals sounds as well, from time to time. Uh, Occasionally, the village also throws a party. I find rather regularly, and there will be music and dancing in the background. Okay. If you want that kind of virtual assistant, yes, they can still be good if you have them doing administrative only type work, not phone oriented. Okay, so
Mhm.
if you have them posting ads on Craigslist, or you have them, okay, that might be just fine, Jerry. But your experience will be the homeowner's experience magnified by 10, probably.
Okay.
They were putting on a good show for you, but the homeowner, it may be chickens, goats, and a rooster in the background. I don't know. It might be a cow. Moo.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
uh, hey, you guys can move in 30 days or less. uh,
What
so,
about VAs out of Pakistan?
well, that's a good question. It's a good
Michael,
question.
Michael, you have any input on that?
Say that again. I didn't quite catch that last part.
The VAs out of Pakistan.
The VAs out of Pakistan. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So great workers. Generally, I would not recommend a VA to do real estate phone calls. Customer service, technical support, that sort of stuff is okay, but that's generally different businesses. But if I'm having someone from Pakistan prospect for me, kind of what I mentioned before, but kind of magnified. If someone sounds like, they're not American, then the homeowner's generally going to think, hey, this doesn't sound right. It sounds like a scam, whatever. There's more of a barrier, even more so than a Philippine, right? It just is what it is. They're great for, any and all admin tasks. From, like you said, posting ads to text messaging, emailing, really anything. Just not necessarily prospecting phone calls. I don't
Sure.
usually recommend that.
Sure.
But the upside to it is, you can get a VA like that for as low as $1 an hour. Just you can find that on Fiverr. You can find someone on Fiverr for about that. Maybe even less. But at the end of the day, it goes back to what Justin said. What do you need them to do for you, right?
Yeah.
And someone might not want someone to do any kind of pre-screening or whatnot. Maybe they're just more comfortable doing that for themselves. That's completely fine. They can scrape your data. They can send text messages, schedule appointments for you, via text message only, right? They
Yeah.
can do prospecting for co-wholesaling. They can scour Facebook groups and contact folks in DMs and say, hey, saw this deal. My boss wanted me to reach out and see if you would consider doing a joint venture on this. We've got buyers in the so-and-so area, right? So that's that's definitely an opportunity. You don't necessarily even need to talk to those people on the phone.
Yeah.
So if that's what they're doing for you, hey, more power to you. You can definitely stretch your dollar a lot further, even than a Filipino, for sure. So That's
WD,
kind of my 2 cents on that.
it's good 2 cents. It was more like $20, man. It was good.
Oh, yeah.
WD Property Investments says, just got my first VA from the Philippines and I'm paying her $300 for every closed deal. Am I overpaying? I want to share the deal, but I don't want to overpay. Is that a wage to pay?
No,
Okay.
that's actually really good.
Well, my question for WD Property Investments is that the only thing you're paying them? Okay. You probably, I'm assuming, paying them by the hour, some sort, or some kind of a base rate, and then the bonus of 300 on every closed deal. That makes a lot of sense. Yes, it does.
Yeah, well, I was assuming that surely they're taking some of the hourly, you know, in biblical
sorry.
court there, but yeah.
Say that again, Kenny.
I was like you, assuming they were taking some kind of hourly
Yeah.
fee for that. This was just a task bonus to keep them going. That's a very reasonable thing,
Yeah.
and it means a tremendous amount in their world.
Yeah. I totally agree. I'm trying to get the calculator out because Rick told us that what is it? $20 is 1,000 pesos. Is that what you said? So what's $300? What's $300 then in pesos? 300 times 50. It was at 1,500.
15,000.
15,000.
15,000. Yeah.
15,000 pesos for $300. 300 American dollars is 15,000 Philippine pesos. I don't know. That's a nice Christmas. It sounds like to me, but I don't. I'm not sure how many pesos it takes for them.
Here's
to
the
live.
reality, though. Like to answer WD Property Investments, you know, anytime that you are paying someone commission only, I mean, hey, that's the case. But if they're paying hourly plus commission, you know, that's still okay. But I mean, if they're just paying commission only, that's a slam dunk. It's not even. It's way more than a slam dunk.
Oh gosh, it's free labor at that point. Yeah. He clarified WD Property Investments. He said he's paying $4 per hour, and then here's how the bonus structure works: $50 for a signed contract, and then $250 when that closes. So that's how the 300 is comprised. Actually, I find that to be quite intelligent. It sounds
That's really good.
Yeah. In fact, WD Property Investments, you done screwed up now because I'm stealing your idea.
I was just going to say, I'm going to copy and paste.
Well, you know, and that's good because that forces the VA to follow up more.
And it's the carrot and the stick. Yeah. It's the carrot and the stick. Yeah. That's great. It's a great idea.
Well, when y'all do your conversions, when I told you about that deal, that same month, that person that used to be with me actually did 3 deals. So imagine they got paid their little salary. They picked up $3,000. So see what that is in that world. You think they didn't, and they just went on a permanent vacation, and then I don't know. But that was my fault for overpaying. But I was trying to be like, hey, I want you to participate too. I want you to win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't know the consequences were going to hurt that person, actually.
Yeah. So you overpaid them, or it ended up being too much, and then they said, all right, I've got enough for the whole year.
Yeah. Michael, what was because I'm kind of intrigued to look into that. What was the site you said you used where you search and find Jamaica?
Well, sorry, it's a little cold in here in Peru yet. So I use.
Send it over here, man. It's still 90 degrees.
It's freaking wintertime in Peru, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's no snow, but it's a little colder. Got a little space heater here. Yeah. They don't have any heater in the condos. There's no heater. There's no air conditioning. It's generally 60, 70, 80 degree weather constantly year round, and it doesn't rain ever.
I see. We've got another special individual that's just popping into the Zoom room here. Um, and let me see if I can find him here. There's so many people in the Zoom room, guys. I love you. Thank you for being here. It looks like we have a Mr. Eric Young here with us today. How are you, sir? Well, hit that unmute button for me, man.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, what's going on, Eric Young?
Oh, just another beautiful day.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome,
Awesome.
dude. Now you are the fix and list guy. Is that correct?
That is me. Yep.
Tell us a little bit about what that means, man. We've been going for about an hour, Eric. I'm sorry. I must have miscommunicated the time to you. So we'll have to wrap it up here in about 3 minutes. But can you come back in 2 weeks?
Yes, I have the wrong time zone. Oh, I apologize for
That's probably
that.
what it was.
That's okay, man. Don't sweat it. But can you come back in 2 weeks and spend a whole hour with us?
Yes, I can. Yep.
Okay, in 2 weeks, Eric Young will be here to talk more about fix and list. But tell us, man, give us the 3 minute tickler, man, if you don't mind, and tell us, get our appetite whetted, you know.
Yeah. So what I do is I advertise to motivated house sellers, just like most other investors and some real estate agents might do. But when someone from my team shows up to the motivated house seller's house, we present 3 different offers. One's a cash offer, just like all the other investors out there. And we offer to sell their house for a commission, just like all the other real estate agents out there. So we kind of match all of our competitors' offers. And then we blow both of those offers out of the water with our fix and list offer, where we offer to fix up their house with our money and then sell it for them at the top of the market and let them keep the extra equity. So it's a really easy deal to close because it's a great deal for the home seller. But when you look at the deal from our side of things, it's also a great way to make a lot more money than you would as a standard realtor and make just as much money as you would as an investor flipping a house, but without all the market risk.
Is this considered partnering with the homeowner? Is that how you look at it?
I don't structure it that way. That's kind of a way you could look at it, but I have a lump sum of money that they reimburse me for when the house sells, regardless of what the price is. So my profit is guaranteed and built into the deal, regardless of how things go. And that allows me to get rid of all the market risk. All right. So if the market turned like it did in like 2008, I'm still going to make just as much money on the deal and not participate in the loss.
Wow. So this is a great way. When we hear the words fix and flipper or fix and flip, we think, well, here's what I think. I don't know about most people, but I think, okay, I got to go down to the hard money lender and I got to go visit with him and see if he can get me set up on some funds. And then I got to go find a wholesaler or an ugly property. And then I got to put a bid in on it. And hopefully my bid is the winner. And if not, then I got to go shop some more for that. And then as soon as I do, I got to confirm, hey, hard money guy, are we still in on this? And okay, we are, but you're going to need a scope of work from a contractor. Oh, I better go get a contractor and get all this put together. And then you find out at the end of the deal that the hard money lender made more money than you, you know. This is not the strategy you're describing. This
Not
is
even close.
This is the old school way of thinking about fixing and selling or fixing and flipping, but you are describing fix and list, which is a total different twist on this, right?
Yes, it is. And it's working in lots of markets. I'm teaching other people how to do the exact same thing I'm doing, just to copy my business model in their own markets through a separate company I've set up. It's a kind of a mentorship program. And so there's other real estate agents and investors doing the exact same thing I'm doing in Denver, but in other markets across the US and having success with it. So it's working well.
And Denver is an extremely hot market, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
So a lot of competition, a lot of higher end property values, and yet you're still having some success with this, right?
A lot of success with it.
A lot of success with this. So
Yeah.
what is the typical, just to whet our appetites, man? I don't want to let all the secret sauce out, man, but what is the average profits and time frames for a deal of this fix and list strategy?
So it makes somewhere around a total of $30,000 a deal. That'd be an average total profit.
Wow.
But I use, I partner with other realtors to help with the deal. So I typically would make somewhere between $15,000 and $20,000 on an average deal, and then the realtor will make the other 10 to 15, depending on how it's structured. But
Nice.
that allows me to really leverage the time of other realtors and do a lot of deals at a time. Like right now, I've got 9 of them going. Before coronavirus hit, I had 15 going at a time. So you can really, in addition to still making a decent amount on every deal, you can do a lot more deals at a time because it takes a lot less capital because you're not buying the properties. So
Yeah.
you don't have to take out a whole bunch of loans. You don't get constrained with how much money you can get your hands on.
I see.
I love it.
Yeah. This is incredible. I love it's so creative too. It sounds so creative.
And I've got a twist on that strategy that I'll add on in 2 weeks when Eric comes back, and I've communicated that to Eric, and I thought that was kind of interesting. I was like, we definitely got to get this guy on because it's huge. But I think that's awesome, man. I like I said, I reached out to you and I said I love this strategy. There's huge potential to this, not just in big markets, even some smaller markets, where deals are. It doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense to do a cash offer. I just it's another tool in the tool belt, and it's a hell of a tool, that's for sure.
So real quick, and I know we're really trying to open the treasure chest here already. I mean, we're like kids on Christmas Day. We can't wait. We want to just undo the tape a little bit and just take a peek, see what those gifts are under the tree. But this is not the normal 70% rule. Is that right? Or do you follow the 70% rule? You know what I mean? With the ugly house wholesaling and 30% profits and expenses for your buyer, and then minus expenses, repairs, and then minus your wholesaler fee. Is this the same formula, or is this not quite as, that's a lot of equity. You know what I mean? Are you able to do these deals with less equity than that?
A lot less equity than that. So we'll offer that option also to the home seller. If they want to sell for cash, we'll give them a low cash offer.
Oh.
And what's crazy is because we're offering the fix and list offer, which is so much better than the homeowner, and we tell them, here's our cash offer, and if you take that, you're going to get a lot less money. Like, see how horrible this number is compared to this other way better number.
Yeah.
Like, but if you're stuck in, you're backed into a corner and you have a bunch of gambling debt and Guido's going to cut your fingers off if you don't sell in the next 5 days and get all your money quick, then sure, we'll buy your house for cash too. So, and what's crazy about it is we're able to close a lot more of those deals too, the really high equity, low cash offer, because of how honest we are with the homeowner. So if you just show up and you give them the respect of, here's a better option and don't do this, don't sell us your house for cash. It's crazy how often those people, when they have to, they'll still sell to us and not somebody else, because we're the only ones that showed up and treated them like a smart human being and gave them better options.
Yeah. And so there, you don't get the responses like, you're not one of them investors that's going to make me a low ball offer because I'm sick of that low ball offer.
Yeah. I've heard that plenty. We're like, no, we're gonna have a better offer for you.
Yeah,
no, we can get them more than they can get with just a straight realtor most of the time.
Yeah, Eric, I'm so excited to hear more in depth in 2 weeks. Real quickly though, further whet our appetite, man, what is the location of more content for you? Is there a website? Where do we find you? Where do we look you up? Where do we get your training materials? Whatever, what do you offer? What can you offer us today, man?
There's a free lesson I put together that explains how the fix and list deals work, and it's at fixandlistsecrets.com.
Okay.
Put that in the
Fixandlistsecrets.com. Fix and list secrets, more than one.
Yep.
.com. Okay. That sounds great, Eric. I'm real excited, man. Sorry we missed you today. Sorry about the miscommunication and the time zones and all that. It's crazy.
It's my fault. Sorry I wasn't on time.
That's all right. Man. That's all right. Does anybody have any questions or anything for me, for Michael, for Kenny, for Eric, for Steve Driscoll? It's good to see you here today, Steve. Glad you're here, man.
I have a question.
All right, Jerry.
When he's doing the fix and flip, say for instance, if I wanted to get into that, would I have to use my own money, or is there a way to get the money to fix that? Say for instance, I'm getting in, I want to do this, but I don't have the money to fix the property.
You can get a loan to get your hands on the money, but it's not going to be the same as like a hard money loan, because it's a much smaller amount of money that you need, because you're not buying the house. You only need enough to cover the rehab. And so that's a whole different kind of loan category than going and getting hard money loan or everything you're used to hearing about for money in real estate. Instead, you can get an unsecured line of credit. If your credit is fairly decent, if it's over, say over 600 or 650 ish, you could go to lightstream.com and get somewhere $70,000, $80,000 wired into your bank account within 48 hours, and use that money to do a couple deals. When you're just getting into this, if your money's tight, you try to close fix and list deals that have a smaller renovation. You don't want to do one that's going to take $60,000 to fix up if that's all you can get your hands on. You'd be better off doing 3 of them with paint and carpet and $20,000 and stretch the money you can get out further until you can start shoveling your profits back in and to do more deals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
This is what the website looks like when you do get there, guys. Fixandlistsecrets.com. I found it helpful to put the www in front of it. Okay. But this is what it looks like. Go check it out, guys. How to easily find lots of real estate deals. It says here at the top, never struggle to find or fund your next real estate deal again. And then, of course, the video content here, about 40 minutes of great content. I really appreciate Eric sharing that with us. So go check it out, guys. Get prepared. If you don't buy in with Eric today, that's okay. You'll get another shot in 2 weeks. But if you want to go ahead and I don't know what he's selling yet. I haven't really taken a look at it, and I'm not an affiliate or anything. But the ideas, I'm already sold, to be honest with you. You know, the idea sounds pretty incredible. So I'm glad he's coming on here. All right. Any other questions or anything before we call it a wrap for today, guys? And start our.
I'm just going to throw. So we've got Nick Nicholas coming on next week from Lead Mining. So if you guys want to hear more about lead gen, Nick is another huge expert. He's got a good following on Facebook. He's got a great cold calling product and a lot of different things about him. He's just a really good guy to follow. One of the people I consider even kind of a mentor in a way. So again, Nick Nicholas from Lead Mining Pros.com. He's coming on next week. So I'm excited about that one. And
Nick Nicholas.
Nick Nicholas.
Yeah.
Yep. And then he worked with Cody Sperber. So I mean, he's a wealth of knowledge in the real estate business. So looking forward to that.
I think we're all about lead gen here and giving great phone. That's what I feel like the heartbeat of our club here is quick, affordable, dependable, consistent lead gen, and giving great phone, you know, and getting those deals. And I'm always excited to see a lead gen expert come on here, or somebody with an incredible, remarkable strategy to employ that we've never yet thought of, like Eric Young. And so, guys, stay tuned. It's going to be a powerful month for the Shut Up Money Show Saturday edition. And I'm glad that everybody's here. We've had a great audience today. Probably, I don't know, I'm guessing close to 50 people on YouTube and almost 20 here in the Zoom room. God bless you. Thank you for being a part of it.
Have a great holiday.
Thank you, Kenny Wright. Thank you, Eric Young. Thank you, Michael Batista. Thank every one of you out there for being a part of this. Check us out, realestatewholesalerclub.com, and get a free training out there as well. So we'll see you again.
Justin.
See you again
Thank
next
you,
week.
brother.
Thanks,
Thank
Justin.
you, dude. Bye-bye,
All right.
everybody.
You guys have a good rest of your day. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. See you next week, everybody.